David Jacoby, we are Jalen Jacoby. Mr. Rose, what is it that we do?
We give the people what they want.
It is only appropriate that you are wearing red because it is NBA Draft Day. Joining us on the program, we have LaMelo Ball in a sit-down, and also Obi Toppin, 2 lottery picks from tonight's draft will be joining us on this program. So let's take a look at who is drafting where at this moment in tonight's draft. We will discuss the number 1 pick the Timberwolves have in a second, but what's really interesting is the Warriors at number 2. Rarely does a team with championship aspirations and a roster like they have the number 2 pick in the draft. Some say they should trade it and get an established veteran. Some say they should pick. Jalen, if you were the Warriors, what would you do with the number 2 spot in the draft?
Don't get cute. Draft Wiseman. Because all of the amazing things that the Golden State Warriors have within their roster, Jacoby, what they don't have is a youthful individual like that that's going to rim run, catch lobs, block shots. Oh, and by the way, give them height. The Golden State Warriors aren't the tallest team in the NBA. As a matter of fact, they're one of the shortest teams in the NBA. The greatness behind the Splash Brothers and Draymond Green was that as a Swiss Army knife, Draymond Green at 6'7" is usually able to guard people that are vastly taller than him. However, the West continues to get taller with the best teams, in particular the Lakers and the Nuggets, and so you just need height. Wiseman is going to provide that as well. He will be a great choice at number 2 for the Golden State Warriors, who automatically then, Jacoby, are going to catapult themselves right back in the Western Conference contention.
Absolutely. A lot of times when you're thinking about who to draft and at what spot, you consider 2 things: the best player available and team need. And in this case, Wiseman seems to check both of those boxes, which is not normally the case. However, you see this down here? You see what's at the bottom of the screen there? LaMelo Ball is ESPN top prospect. He's also my personal top prospect. And I think any team that passes up on LaMelo Ball is going to regret it. I'm telling you, if I'm the Warriors, I have to take a hard look at this. Is he a little redundant with the Splash Brothers and Wiggins? Yes, but wouldn't it be nice if he maybe comes off the bench? He learns from Steve Kerr. He learns from Klay Thompson. He learns from Steph Curry about how to play off the ball and on the ball. And what does he do best? Distribute the ball. He is a natural passer. And wouldn't it be nice if he was just getting people open shots? Oh, I don't know, maybe some of the best shooters this sport has ever seen. That's one of the reasons that I would take a long look at LaMelo Ball, because of his fit with what the Splash Brothers do. And yes, you are right. They do need a big. But maybe they can get by with Looney and Chris and Draymond and going small, because you could think of like a Draymond, Ball, Wiggins, Thompson, Curry lineup could be sort of like the death lineup 2.0. I would take a long look at LaMelo Ball because I love him so much in this draft, and any team that drafts him is going to be happy with him. And you had the opportunity to sit down one-on-one with LaMelo Ball. Let's check in with that. Tommy, run it.
Either one or two is up to you. Hit it.
You're going to possibly be the number 1 pick in this year's draft. So what has your workout regimen and schedule been like?
Pretty much I was in Detroit with JJ, just pretty much getting at it. Waking up at 8, doing shooting form. After that, go to the weightlifting gym.
Here we go, 10 seconds, squat it down. 9, 8, 7, 6, good. Come on, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, good. Relax.
Getting the whole body right. Go back to the gym.
There we go. There you go. Hey.
Go home, watch a movie, rest up, and restart the day.
So you guys are a basketball family. Tell me about what age and some of the drills you did and when you knew that basketball meant everything to you.
Well, really, when I was like 3, that's when it was.
There you go. Oh.
Playing on like a 10-foot hoop. And then, what did you say after that? You said drills and stuff. Yeah, we really didn't do drills.
You said 3 years old?
Yeah, 3.
On a 10-foot hoop?
Yeah, facts. Facts.
Here comes Ball. three ball. LaMelo!
What was it like playing against professionals overseas versus going to college and playing with kids your age?
And playing over there, it's like a whole new style of play that you really could add to your arsenal. I feel I learned a lot and grew from there.
One of the things that I've heard throughout this draft process is when people see you, it's like, whoa, he's taller, he's bigger than we thought.
Yeah, right.
He can shoot it better than we thought.
Freshman year, I was like 5'8".
What?
Yeah, I was like 5'8". And then when I went to overseas, I got to like 6'3", 6'4", and now 6'7".
And I think once you hit that growth spurt and your body continued to get stronger, I noticed you start playing through contact.
Yeah, your whole body changed, you know. First, when you get tall, it be kind of different to move and stuff. But once you get used to it, you good.
Now the NBA draft is here. What is it like for that summary to finally happen?
I'm actually really excited. It's gonna be my first time in a long time playing back in the States.
What about your draft day drip? Now don't show up with a red and white pinstripe suit.
I'm not.
Jalen Rose, I think, wins the Styling Award with that red pinstripe.
Actually, Lonzo draft, I had all red on. But this one, I'm gonna have all black and then a little gold in it. It's gonna be tough, though.
Jalen, great work. I have a theory that if his name was LaMelo Smith and he went to like Tennessee, he would be the consensus #1 pick in the draft. I think it's just the fact that his father and his brothers and the fact that he played over in Europe and then he played in Australia that people still kind of don't really understand what he is. But to me, he's a tall point guard that's a natural passer that can finish and that can shoot from deep, and he's great in a pick and roll, which is basically NBA offenses now. What was your feeling of him being around him?
It's one of those things that the longer you're available for public consumption, the more people get a chance to pick you apart. That's why nowadays players, it's best for them to leave early versus being four-year prospects, because at some point they start to feel, wait a minute, he couldn't leave early. What is wrong with him? And for LaMelo Ball, he's been famous basically his entire career, Jacoby, and he's not even in the NBA yet. So we saw his family have a reality show. We saw him get a whip for his 16th birthday that was a sports car. These are all things that made him grow up young and grow up fast. And then all of a sudden I realized something, Jacoby. He fell in love with the game, and all of that didn't matter as much to him no more. He wants to be a great basketball player. And so he talked about being in Detroit, working out with Jermaine Jackson. Basically what that's saying is, I'm dedicating myself to the game. I know people probably got a chance to get introduced to me in a different light, but I want them to see me as somebody who wants to be a great player and is going to take whatever sacrifices needed in order to make that happen. And you said something that's really important. Did you say he was 6'7"? Did you say he could pass? Did you say he was a playmaker? And you gotta be a scorer if you had 92 points in a high school game. He's played in Lithuania, he's played in Australia, he's played in Ohio. That means you're in love with the game of basketball. And I slept on the fact when he was like, it's gonna be the first time I played in the States in years. Just think about that for a second for a 19-year-old prospect.
Jalen, I would take him #1. However, the Minnesota Timberwolves have the #1 pick, and they are likely to take Anthony Edwards. That's kind of what the feeling is around the league. But you have a very interesting theory about the #1 pick. What is that?
Of course, everybody wants the #1 pick, and it's great for headlines. And it's great for the player's ego because you want to go back and look at your draft class and say, I went #1 overall. But I'm here to tell everyone, when tonight ends, the #1 pick is actually overrated. This is what I mean. When you look back at the history of the draft, say since 1980, these are the only people that have gone #1 to go on and win a championship with that team. Which means the body of your squad is still going to be composed based on veterans with larger contracts that are going to drive the dynamics of you actually winning it all or not. And so the number one pick, of course, if he's an all-time great game-changing player like LeBron James, David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, Tim Duncan, but usually that's not going to be the case. You still need to build out your roster because that number one pick isn't necessarily going to lead your team in points, rebounds, and assists their rookie year. And so it's very important that while we're going to celebrate the number one pick in tonight's draft choices, just know Minnesota in particular. The person that you draft tonight isn't necessarily going to lead you to a championship one day.
That's a really good point. We're so excited about the draft tonight, but we still have some lingering news from down in Houston. Of course, James Harden didn't come out and request a trade, but didn't sign an extension, said he wants to go to Brooklyn. And now we have this from Raphael Stone, the all of a sudden embattered GM of Houston. He said he's willing to get uncomfortable. He's willing to have James show up at work. We don't have to trade you. You're under contract for 2 more years. What do you think about this strategy from the Rockets franchise?
I'm really disappointed in a lot of multimedia people who seem to think James Harden being uncomfortable is a bad thing for the Rockets franchise. And let me tell you why. You know what makes people really comfortable? When you're paying them $30, $40 million a year. That's what makes people comfortable. And as long as James is going to get his check, which he will, he's going to show up and be a professional. He has 2 years left on his contract, and the goal is for him to be moved. But when you do it outwardly like that, you almost hamstring the ability of the team to get equal value in return. So now it takes the deal even longer to actually take place because everybody knows that you're operating from a deficit. I believe at some point clearly that they will move Russ probably first and then move James. But if you're not getting an all-NBA caliber performer in return for James Harden, you're getting a bad deal. I always talk to you about draft picks not being able to play. And when you see Paul George getting moved for multiple draft picks, when you see Drew Holiday getting moved for multiple draft picks, it tells you while they have value, they don't have the value that they used to.
Now, I do want to say, because I'm a serious journalist, that was not attributed to Stone himself. It was a high-ranking Rocket source in the Tim McMahon piece. Jalen, coming up next on this program, we will be joined by that man, the hot, and brought to you by Chase. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen, it is draft day, and we have the honor of being joined by one of the potential lottery picks. Obi Toppin is joining us on the program. Thank you so much for taking the time. Now, you are not a typical one-and-done type of player. Your journey and your experience is different. How does that set you apart from other prospects?
I just feel like I have a lot more experience than other guys. I feel like with the years that I had at Dayton and the extra year of high school going to prep school, I just feel like with those extra years, like I'm more developed and I feel like I got a lot more experience. So.
Obi, congratulations. I feel like you're going to have a long, prosperous NBA career. I like to judge prospects clearly by what I see on the floor, but you have something that I see in very few players, that you will be successful without basketball. And I always appreciated that following your career. There are so many teams that look at you, especially in the pick and roll era, and feel like you're a typical big guy that can set the screen and pop, set the screen and roll. Why do you feel like that's such a great part of your game?
I just feel like with me being the player I am, like nobody can really know what I'm gonna do. I just feel like with my athleticism, I draw a lot of attention, and me rolling to the basket is gonna have a lot of other guards and shooters open. And with me picking and popping and having like an ISO game with another big, I feel like I'm a lot faster than most bigs and can get to the basket faster. So I feel like nobody can know exactly what I'm going to do because I can do a lot of different things. So
this is an amazing time in your life, but don't take everything too serious. Find ways to enjoy being drafted. What's going to be on the menu tonight? Who's going to be with you when you get picked?
Yes, sir. So for tonight, I'm going to have my mom and my dad definitely. I'm gonna have my girlfriend, and I'm gonna have a lot of family with me. I'm gonna definitely have my coaches and definitely my point guard at college, Jalen Crutcher. I had to have him there. So coach said he can come with them. So the moment's just gonna be fun. Like we're gonna live in the moment and just enjoy it. Like me being in this position is a blessing, and I couldn't trade it for anything else in the world. So
I couldn't wait to have you on the show because I wanted to make sure that we showed some of your terrific highlights.
Yes, sir.
What is it like to catch bodies the way you do?
It's a great feeling. I couldn't do it without my teammates, though. Those guys, like they throw perfect passes for me to do the things I do best. Like we had great defenders on the team for me to get stuff like this. That's nasty, but we had a great team who opened the floor for me to be able to do certain things like this. So like right there, Jalen Crutcher being the point guard he is, I wouldn't be able to do it without him. So.
Well, both of us rely on Jalen's in our career to advance, so
yes,
I know what you're talking about. Now, it has been reported, and I just don't believe this to be true. It has been reported that you could not even dunk until your senior year of high school. Is that true?
Yes, sir, that is true. I could not have dunked until my senior year of high school, so.
That is wild. And look at what you're doing now.
Wow.
Right.
Well, you went to a few different high schools before you went to college, but I just want you to know here in New York, Brooklyn is claiming you, okay? Brooklyn is claiming you, and I heard the streets are telling me that your dad used to be out here in the parks as well. What was his game like?
Oh, his game's terrific. Like you can go on YouTube and look up his highlights. Like he was a park legend, Rucker Park, Dykeman, West Fourth, like all the city parks. Like if you go there and ask who Snoop is or Obi Senior, they gonna know exactly who you're talking about. So
Dunker's delight, putting in work.
So Obi, you only get drafted once. You're gonna play for over a decade in the league, but you only get drafted once. So that outfit that you get drafted in is going to live forever. Give us an idea of what you'll be rocking tonight.
I don't want to give too much, but tonight the suit that I got on is gonna be real nice. It's gonna stand out for sure. Hopefully, it's the #1 suit in the draft. So
playing at Dayton, now being a lottery pick in tonight's draft, just talk to people who don't necessarily know about your journey from starting college until now. Can you give them a snapshot of what it took for you to get here?
Yeah, so my first year in college, I wasn't able to play due to academic reasons, but that whole year, my coaches and my teammates, they helped me through that year become the person and player I am today. They pushed me every single day to be great. I went from 180 to 220 in 1 year, my freshman year of college. And the first year I was able to play, one of our teammates was hurt, Josh Cunningham. And so I was able to start the 2 games, and I believe I had 19 the first and 18 the second. And just having that opportunity to start those games, it gave me a lot of confidence to go in and do what I had to do to help the team win. So after that year, first year playing, I had the opportunity to work out with 5 NBA teams. And listening to the feedback they gave me and coming back to school for another year, I knew I had to grind every single day to be a great player. And my teammates and coaches helped me with that. And that's why I'm in the position I am in today. So I'm very grateful for that.
Well, I went from 180 to 220 in my freshman year as well, but something tells me it looked a little different on me than it did on you. Let's just say that. So, unlike my co-host, I'm sure that you'll be financially responsible once the NBA checks start coming in. So my question for you is there something you've had your eye on, whether it's an item of clothing or a car or a gift for your family? What do you have your eye on for when those NBA checks start coming in?
I definitely need to get myself a house and a car, but with some of the checks that I got before the draft, like I had a couple of endorsement deals, and I was able to get my mom a car. Like I always wanted to get my mom something. I don't even have a car myself yet, and literally as soon as I had enough money to get my mom a car, like I took her to the lot and was like, pick out any car, and she got the car she wanted. It was a C43 with an AMG engine in Mercedes. So she loves the car a lot, red interior, and she's happy, so I'm happy. So
Well, Obi, we're excited for you. We're rooting for you and your family. Best
Yes,
of
I
luck
appreciate it.
throughout this transition from college to the NBA. Feel free to come back and join us anytime. We're your home court to kick it about anything.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys having me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we'll be back with more on this special draft day.